Welcome back to the shop. So today, the plan is to pull this engine out. First thing I need to do is go around and take pictures of all the connections, like the throttle connection. It's the most complicated bunch of levers I've ever seen. So I want to make sure that's clearly documented. I'll pull out the generator and the fan belt and the take pictures of all the wires on top of that. Generally make sure I have documented all the wires that connect the engine to the body. Make sure everything's disconnected. I got some brackets I'm gonna bolt to the engine. Went shopping yesterday, bought a new come-along and a balancer, load balancer. The thing that shifts the weight back and forth on the engine so you can tilt it. Hopefully that'll help extract things. And then pull it out. Anyway, shoot as much video as I can. Yeah, so let's start with the throttle. Yeah, so where to start? Oh my gosh. Let's work backwards. So here at the carburetors, we have this push arm on two ball bearing, not ball bearing, ball and cup fasteners. Connects to this tube, this shaft, which goes into a point on the chassis right here. So I need to make sure I can get that off. Then it has another ball joint that goes down to here. You can see that wiggle. Oh, it's kind of dark down there. Then the actual pedals down here in several places. See if I can push it from the inside. There you go. Yeah, so the pedal. Oh, let me get a light for you. This is awful. Holy smokes, you can see now. So, the pedal just has a pivot that comes out here, connects to here. It goes way back there to another pivot point. And then it comes up here. You have one arm that goes to the overdrive relay, right over here. And this one connects to this arm, just connected in here somehow, and over to here, and finally to here. It's crazy complicated. On the later models, I've seen they have one cable coming out up here. It goes to up here. Sorry, it comes out to. It forks into two cables, and then you have one cable on each throttle body, making it less complicated. Then actually the newer style goes through here. So I don't know if this is. It's awfully shiny, so I don't think it's original, but I'm not sure why it's here. Anyway, that's the throttle. Here's something funny. They just, when they redid it last, they didn't hook up the heater core. They just ran this tube from here and looped it around over there, bypassing the heater. So you know, no cold fall days. No driving it in the winter. Now over on the passenger side, we have the condenser, which has one wire going to the distributor, and then the other two wires go down into the wiring harness. The generator, yes, generator, not alternator, has a big wire and a little wire. What else do we got? My gosh, I think that's it. We have the starter down below. It's gonna have some wires on it. I can't get a good shot of that for you though. So I pulled out the clutch slave cylinder just because it was attached and stuff to get the engine out. It looks like a new slave cylinder with a rusty bleed valve. The cable's rusted. Maybe it's just dirty. The pin just kind of fell out. It has a slight bend to it, which I don't know if that's supposed to be like that or if it's seen kind of rough use. That would be weird. And it has a copper cotter pin in it, which is kind of interesting. One last thing to disconnect before we pull this engine out. It's the wires for the overdrive. Remember, it's the electronic overdrive. So up here, below where the gear shift goes, is a switch that'll only allow it to engage if it's in third or fourth gear. And then we have a single wire running down to an electronic solenoid that fires up and down and engages and disengages. And over here is some sort of, I don't know if it's just holding the wires or not, but and some tape. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there it is. As you saw in time-lapse, the engine's out. I'm thinking that this car is just built around the engine. I'm used to the size of the the Sprite engine is 1275 cc engine and transmission, and this has, you know, 2 extra cylinders and an overdrive on it. It's freaking huge. However, getting it out really, really smooth. I had forgotten to take out, what was it? Forgot to take off the starter cable, the main cable for the starter. After that was out, it just slipped right up. One thing I'm not very happy about, this engine balancer. They welded on this dinky little thing on the end. It's already bent up, just, you know, running it back and forth. Of course, I was running it to the extremes. And then on this side, it's a nut, but it has these set screws in it, so I couldn't get a wrench on it or very well. In the end there, I did manage, but that was kind of tough. So with it out, you can see visually it's surprisingly good. It needs cleaned up. There's oil leaking from somewhere. The starter is rusty, and that needs cleaned up. The boot for the shift fork needs changed, but mostly the paint's good. You can't see the bottom of the oil pan, but we talked about that earlier. I think somebody pulled it out and set it on the ground, and that flattened out the bottom of the oil pan, because there's no frame damage on the bottom. Actually, we can look inside the engine bay now a little bit better, and actually there's no frame damage. This car has not been wrecked before, you know, in 60 years of its life not being wrecked, with that size engine. That's not bad. Of course, you know, many of those years were just spent sitting in a barn or somebody's garage. Some funny things, more funny things. I like funny things. The fuel line, where is it? It's right there. It actually goes around the front and then all the way down this frame member to the back. I wonder why they didn't just run it down this side and to the back. Seems like it would have been shorter. Not that it matters. Maybe it was a left-hand, right-hand drive thing. Anyway, so that was my morning's work, getting that pulled out. Very, very happy with it. Guess my job for this afternoon is to keep pulling parts off. I was online checking out the steering wheel. It's adjustable. It has a spring dust cover, which is all collapsed right now. That goes up and down. It has these splines that go in and out. I was looking to how do I take it off. It has these little set screws every third. So those come off, and then the horn button comes off. The switch for this turn signal switch, there's wires from it go all the way down the pipe, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down to the steering box. They come out here. Crazy, eh? And over to the front, over to the turn signals. I've heard those are really, really hard to replace. Anyway, I've gotten one of the set screws out. I think it's this one. This set screw has broken 2 screwdrivers now, so I'll have to work on that. I've scored some WD-40 on it. I've put a strap wrench on here. Apparently this turns, and then you'll be able to slide it in and out on the spline. And then once you get this off, there's a C-clip that keeps it from falling off on you. So, you know, little by little, I'll get in there. Oh, I remounted the dashboard, keep it out of the way of pulling the transmission out. Quick Grips. Not a sponsor. Alright, that's it for today. Well, that's it for this morning. If I find some more interesting stuff, I'll let you know. Well, with the engine out, we got some new views. This is from the front. All the way through the firewall. Let's get up under here. I want to follow this wiring harness around so I know where it goes when I go to put it back. Here we have a junction for the hydraulic system with a switch on it. These were the wires that went up to the generator and the distributor. Where are we? There we go. So this goes up to the voltage regulator. There we go. Which looks brand new. I think it's been replaced. Oh, missed this branch. Goes down to the starter solenoid. Here's part of the overcomplicated fuel pedal system. Yeah, okay. Distractions. Up here we got two wires on the relay for the overdrive. Looks like another relay thing here. Bunch of wires that head south. Follow those in a minute. And then we have two little fuses. Over here we have I think this is the flasher. Connects up to this, goes around, there's the horn. This over here, I'm not sure what it is. Some sort of relay station or something. Get all the wires in there. More wires that continue onto the front and off to either side. So back around here, these ones that go south, big clump of connectors. It goes south. Down here, I think we're gonna head to the trunk with these, to the boot. Go up here, and they split off either direction there. Yeah, you can't see very well, but trust me, that's where they're headed. Alright. Big mess of wires. Oh, we had this one hanging down. This was for the transmission. This for the overdrive. It comes off of that south-headed wire as well. While we're doing wires, we have a bunch that goes through here. This is the main wire harness going through. You can see up under the dash now. Comes through here, heads over to the instrument panel. Big mess of wires all over the place. Not sure if you can tell what's what, but I'm sure I'll be looking back at this video going, where did that wire go? What color was that one? There's still a switch up there in the middle. I don't know what it goes to. This one right here. Two wires. They ran out to the front. They've been taped off with masking tape. Unfortunately, it's not labeled. I don't know. We'll have to Google it up, as the children say. Well, my children. I don't know about yours. Google it up. Alright, that's the wiring harness. So it's Friday afternoon, and I wanted to give you a quick report on all the progress I've made. I got most of the wiring pulled out, breaking off a lot of bolts. Actually, they're screws, like sheet metal screws. Right here, you can see the remnants of the WD-40. I tried hitting it with the impact screwdriver. That didn't work. Got on them with vice grips and just wiggled them until they broke off. Thing comes off nice and easy. Have to drill them on or something. Here I have the hydraulics taken off. I am the canister, the bucket of hydraulic fluid, brake fluid, is taken off. Some of the tubes taken down. Bit by bit, going around, finding stuff that I can take off that doesn't look like too much of a fight. So, making some progress. Slow and tedious work. It's like breaking everything very gently. I think that's a good way to describe it. That's all for now. Have a great weekend. I'll try and get this video up soon for y'all.